grade or take a look at Cody Rhodes' title reign so far? What's the deal with
Yeah,
that?
because like I've seen a lot of like conversations like surrounding Cody Rhodes' reign and the expectations that people thought that it was gonna have. Some people have said it's been a letdown. Some people have said that it's been on par with what they thought it was gonna be. Some people said that it wasn't as good as Damian Priest's reign. Some people thought that it's been very underwhelming. But for me, I'm just gonna say like I haven't been mad at it. I feel like they've done the best with what they could, considering the way the SmackDown roster is set up. I saw some people complaining about Kevin Owens getting a championship match against Cody Rhodes and the way that they came about it, and that they were saying like, oh well, he's not a heel, and the way that Kevin Owens was kind of pushing it off and the way they were going about it. That and then those conversations evolved into, well, the reign hasn't really been that good anyway.
Okay. Well, let's attack the Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens situation first, and how we get to this title match, right? Because Cody kicks off SmackDown last week, and he's talking about that he has the opportunity to choose who his next opponent is going to be, and who he gives the world title shot to. Before he can get to who he's going to speak on and announce who he wants to face, the bloodline comes out. Solo is yada 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 yapping along about how he had him beat at SummerSlam, and he's gonna go find Roman Reigns and get his revenge or whatever, whatever. At that point, they try to attack him, and Kevin Owens comes to his aid. And after they fend off, themselves from the bloodline, Cody then lays it out and says, "Hey, me and you, Basher Berlin." And Kevin Owens is like, "Nah, not me. You got to fight somebody who's more deserving, because I ain't got it like that right now, P." You feel me? And basically, that ends up with Cody going to Nick Aldis and telling Nick Aldis that KO should be the guy. KO then rants about not giving Roman Reigns an opportunity because of everything that he's done, when Nick Aldis brings up the idea of speaking to Roman Reigns about possibly taking that spot. At that point, they make it official because that passion of KO comes into play, and that right there shows exactly why he should be the guy. Um, it made sense. He brought up his win loss record. Kevin Owens seems like one of the only characters on the show that actually pays attention to what's going on the show. So he fills a lot of illogical gaps. And sometimes I don't know if they're scripted for him to fill those gaps, or if that's just something that he innately does because he wants things to, move along in a comprehensive way. And also, continuity is important. Everything Pro Wrestling says, hit that like button for them. And we would appreciate if you hit the like button. If you subscribe, that would also be really amazing. If you want to send a super chat, definitely not required, but also helps a great deal. Please go ahead and do so. But yeah, what do you make of this whole situation, CJ?
I mean, I can understand. The KO thing. It just felt kind of weird. Just like, hey, yo, man, I feel like you should be the title contender. She's like, no, nigga. Like that shit felt kind of weird because, like, I don't know if it was like you don't want to fight your friends type shit, and like Kevin, like KO, he is the logical choice, like you said. Like, I mean, he fits all. Like, he can like, because who else do you have? Like, you really don't have anybody else that you can like. You have LA Knight, or you could have like you ain't trying to just throw Roman in there and to run in. Yeah, it feels real Daniel Bryan-ish to me. Like, oh, like yo, I don't know. Like, he don't need that. Could have just had him win a number one contender thing.
To me, I think this run as a whole, I'm gonna go ahead and grade it as a whole from the storyline after, WrestleMania and everything like that, we led into the AJ style stuff. And this was matches that people were saying were good. I saw some people saying like, okay, well, that it really took a nosedive after he started like linking up with Solo Sikoa. I think a logical fan could see that Solo Sikoa was leading back into a Roman Reigns return. So I feel like they've taken the logical steps to go along with this reign. Cody has been seen as like he's more of the working like champion. He's more of like the guy who's like, okay, I'm going to give you a shot. I'm not going to go the way that you think I'm going to go, the traditional way. Because for me and a lot of other people were looking at maybe Randy Orton would be the choice. And we've seen what they've done with that. And they put him on the back burner and kind of like sent him over to Monday Night Raw to be with Gunther. I think that they have taken the logical steps in this rivalry, especially with what they've had. There are not a whole lot of like convincing heels for Cody Rhodes to face on the SmackDown roster, which is why they had to reheat AJ Styles and put him in that position. I know that they had the Logan Paul stuff and everything like that. That was an exhibition match. And they've had him do the tag match at Money in the Bank and all that. I think that they've done the best with what they had. There are not a whole lot of world beater heels on the SmackDown roster that they could work with. It's like an abundance of baby faces.
Yeah. I think what they're going to do here with Cody's reign is they're going to utilize Cody and the good old boy that he is to turn some of these baby faces heel, i.e. Kevin Owens, i.e. Randy Orton, who I said is going to be offended that Kevin Owens would be the one in the choice that Cody Rhodes gives the WWE title shot to over Randy Orton, even though Randy Orton already has a match scheduled with Gunther. I feel like he's still gonna come around and be like, "You gave him a title shot and not me."
Like, nigga, when you get back, like, when'd you get back? Like, was you over there fighting him? Like, yeah, man, I had to do something. Like, you want me to just wait? Yeah. Like, my bad, Randy. You got it. You got it, Randy.
Yeah, they definitely do need to turn some baby faces like heel. Like Kevin Owens would be good. You could probably get at least 2 more like pay-per-views out of that with that rivalry with him if you were going on. And I think a lot of what Cody Rhodes' reign is more long-term storylines. Like that storyline with AJ that went on for 2.5 months. That went on for a while. The Logan Paul stuff, that was like a blip, like real quick rivalry. But we have just been in mode with everything from Solo Sikoa and the Bloodline since when? Since back like a little bit before Money in the Bank.
Literally
So,
Money in the Bank.
So
No,
we have been
I'm sorry.
locked in.
Clash at the Castle.
Clash of the Castle. Yeah.
After
So
he beat AJ the second time. Go.
We have been locked in with that storyline for months and months and months. And unfortunately, we are in an era where fans where people's, I'm not just going to say wrestling fans, people's attention span on the whole is kind of like really short. It's like, okay, after 2 months of storylines, like, God, this is going on. This is continuing. Like, what are we doing? Let's move on to something else. And I am guilty of it. I'm not going to try to say like, is this everybody else? Because I've fallen in that trap too. But seeing as the SmackDown roster, like I said, is very limited, they have to work with what they have, and they have to make it like they have to stretch it to when they can like kind of switch off of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think
Okay. So give it the grade though.
I'm gonna give it a 7.5. And I think that it'll grow from there because I see what's on the horizon with this rivalry, because you still have stuff on the back burner that you haven't even used yet. Like you have Randy Orton, you have Roman Reigns, you have The Rock, you have all of this stuff that's coming up. You basically just have to use what you can now. And I think the Kevin Owens storyline will heat up and it will eventually like blow people away with the matches and the way the storyline takes off from here.
Nigga, this shit's all gonna lead to Roman Reigns doing exactly what everybody wants them to do. Roman Reigns is gonna turn Cody Rhodes heel. He's gonna,
right?
yo, C, give it a C. C only.
Numbers, nigga.
You said a grade. A grade is numbers.
I said numbers. You could.
Oh, my bad. All right, well, 7.5. Let me give you a 7, dog. I'll give it a 7 because what do you want them to do? I mean,
I'm not gonna lie to you.
You
I think we need to get our little rating or grading scale or whatever together because sometimes it's numbers, sometimes it's 1 out of 5, sometimes it's 1 out of 10, sometimes it's letter grades. Nobody ever fucking knows. So if we're going 1 out of 10, if we're going 1 out of 10, I'm gonna say a solid 7. I'm gonna say a solid 7 because I think it's better than average. I think it's better than what people are letting on. I think it's just the idea that we've had 4 years of this big storyline epic of the bloodline and everything that Roman has been able to do, not only from a character standpoint, but financially for the company. And now we're looking at Cody stepping into that position. And 4 months later, people are, crying foul at it because it's not that, but it can't be that. You know what I'm saying?
And then also, as a heel champion, you have more room to work. Because when you're a heel champion, if you face different heels, no one is like turning their nose up at it and saying, oh, well, he's not a baby face. And if you're facing like other baby faces and ones that don't seem to, that are 100% qualified, no one's questioning it because they're like, oh, well, he's giving him a chance. But when you're a babyface champion and you reach down and you're like, okay, well, this guy's been on TV in so long, everybody's like, well, why are you giving this dude a chance? He hasn't been on TV for months. His win-loss record is shit, like all of this stuff. And especially like you said, Cody's like, his reign is being held to like a higher standard because of what Roman did. Now, Roman, there were multiple times where he wasn't even present. Like, I feel like a lot of people are going back and remembering that reign just very nostalgically, as if people weren't complaining, Roman's not on TV. We haven't seen him for 2 months. He hasn't been around. Cody's been on TV every week. I think it's just like a lot of this hate comes exclusively online because I don't hear any of this shit. I don't hear any of this shit on the shows. I don't see it in the crowds where people are like taking like videos and stuff like that. This is something that's exclusively online. And it's different to me from the heat that he got in AEW because that shit was real. They did not like him over there. They was like, hey, you can get the fuck out right now. We won't care.
Let's see. Kim in the chat says this has been the American snooze fest.
Wanna be American snooze fest.
JM says this is low-key the same problem SmackDown had in 2004, and then JBL popped up out of nowhere.
Do they need a JBL? Can Cody slowly start? I think they cheer for him too much for him like to slowly start going crazy and just the pressure of being the champion, like that one, or just being like, that 2-year journey, and then you just be like, all right. Like, you know what I'm saying? Or just like especially with Roman coming back, he's the only one that could turn him heel. And I think that shit will be funny. Because he can do it. Like that reaction was crazy.
4 months after like winning the championship into his first like reign as champion, I think it's too short notice to hit the switch to be a heel. No, like I see a lot of people, I've seen people calling for it too. They were like, we're freshening up this run as if he turned heel. And I'm like, I think it's a little too soon. just because people online are saying like, oh, I don't like what he's doing. Oh, I'm not feeling it. I don't know.
We making too much money for that.
Exactly. Like, you're gonna need to build up a baby face of equal or higher like merch value for them to be comfortable enough to kind of like take him off of there and make him a heel. Or if he could spin it like Roman did. But I think they kind of need to like have an insurance policy, like build up, like, okay, just in case the numbers start dipping, just in case things kind of get kind of funny or whatever, we have another backup like big baby face like in the tuck.
It's only a matter of time. Like, they love LA Knight over there, so but it's a matter of time. Like, they're gonna like Roman's gonna wrap up this family stuff. You know what I'm saying, they're gonna do some war games, and he's gonna go right back to business. Like, yo, what's up?
It's cool. Let's get into